Aloha and welcome in Soul Family Soul Ohana Kapualani here. And we've got our first kind of official session together for the 2025 New Year, and Happy New Year at that. I'm going to open up the space by using my tuning fork. We're going to do three chimes, giving you a moment just to connect to your breath, connect to your goals, connect to your guides as you inhale. And as you exhale, releasing anything and everything that no longer serves, purifying, cleansing, clearing with the breath. Here we go. And so, as we go into the cards, as we shuffle the cards, I offer you just a moment to again hold true to your goals, your intentions, whatever they may be. Keeping in mind that this is, sorry for the wobble, this is a timeless reading. Okay, this is a timeless reading. So, whenever you happen to be watching this, as always, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And as it is a general reading, maybe all of it will resonate, maybe some of it, bits and pieces here and there. But again, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. What I would also like to add is that there will be a part two to this reading. Okay, there will be an extension for those who are interested. And I thank you again for being here. So, Spirit, what is the message that we need to hear, that we need to know in this moment? What's coming through? Ace of Pentacles. We've got a new beginning coming up. All right. Yes, we've got a new year. Okay, and I get the sense that while not everyone may be terribly excited about the new year, that was just my vibe. I feel this opportunity. We've got Ace of Pentacles, Two of Wands here. That it's a nice fresh start. The Ace of Pentacles is all about acknowledging this new seed that we're going to be planting. There may be an opportunity that you're looking at, that you're considering. You may be traveling or thinking about travel. Okay, you may be thinking about the future and the long distant future, with the understanding that however you're going to get there, it will take a little bit of time. Because we've got the Ace of Pentacles, we want to remember that Pentacles is slower moving, first of all. And while aces are very validating, while they're very exciting, this case, it's a seed that you're planting that is, going to you're going to want to nurture it. You're going to want to grow and develop over time. All right, because we've got cycles 1 through 10 when we look at the context of the cards, of course, right? And so in this case, I feel like you may be doing your best to look ahead, to look at things with this sort of not exactly a blank slate, but perhaps in so many ways. While there may be a lot that has taken place, a lot that has transpired, and in my meditations and everything before I got into this reading, and even in my pre-shuffle, I was getting the sense that there may still yet be some lingering struggles that are being released. There may be some challenges that we're still kind of at the tail end of moving through, clearing out of, and from. There may have been some losses. There may have been some grievances. You may still be feeling a little bit of that, if not a lot of it, but we're at the tail end of it. And I feel, I just saw 3:33 on my timer there, but I feel like having these two cards, the Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, this is telling me that whatever seed that you do decide to plant, whatever opportunity that you do decide to accept, there is a possibility that it's going to be very exciting, because you go from 1 to 2 very quickly. Okay, there may even be growth that happens at a much quicker pace than you had anticipated. So, let yourself get a little bit excited about the future, the long term future, by getting excited about what you're doing here and now, by focusing on the steps that you're taking, and the aligned, inspired actions that are coming through for you to engage in the here and now. All right, so these are some exciting energies, I feel, already opening things up, fingers crossed. Okay, and I think that for the most part, at this point, I'm kind of hearing, who wouldn't want that Ace of Pentacles to go ahead and plant the new seed? I feel like where you may be at right now is you don't mind. Yes, we would like some instant gratification or instant results, but it's also kind of, I also get this feeling of somewhat intimidation about, okay, if I do this, if I do that. And so that's where I like seeing this Two of Wands that's saying, listen, yes, there is a big bright future. Look out at that horizon, that landscape that's in front of these two people. Number one, you're not alone. Okay, whether it's just because of the wands here, spirit, I feel like this is also an identification that your inner feminine and masculine energies are lining up, getting on the same page. Okay, and so that's about strengthening your sense of self. All right, and you're just at the beginning phases of it. So again, allow yourself to get excited by considering the possibilities that are ahead. And when I see the Two of Wands, it's like the world is in the palm of your hands. And in order to get to, all those worldly travels, for example, we have to take, a look at the short-term plans, like our budget, like where do we even want to go, and how much is, what I mean, that going to cost in terms of not just money, but the time, and that sort of thing, time of year, when to go, little details in the end, right? They matter. And so think about it that way, whether you're, what you're looking at right now deals with a relationship, whether it deals with work and career, your health, all of the things. Okay, if you have been watching my readings, I do like to keep it very open and general, because it can cover many different facets, as energy does. It's energy. All right, so let's see what else, Spirit. What else do we need to know? What are we planting, with this Ace of Pentacles? Wow. Okay, so we got the Justice card. So with this Justice energy, okay, this is again divine time and order alignment here. And forgive me for saying again, but I feel like the Justice card may have shown up in one of our recent readings together. And so karmic balance, karmic timing, choices and decisions that you're going to be making that will affect you in the long run. So there's something very significant here with karmic contracts. You could be looking at contracts, you could be looking at documentations. So whether this is something that is like paperwork, whether this is about, like looking into signing a lease for a new apartment in the coming months or so, the next few months. I feel like there's something here. I'm also getting the phrase giving back, and I apologize for the glare here. In my hotel room, I can't really help it. I'm doing my best. But look at that, what it's leading to, the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, spirits, a little bit more details here. Okay, we've got the Devil, Capricorn energy, Earth energy, Mastery of the Physical. All right, we've got the Knight of Swords, we've got the Two of Swords. Okay, so as a whole, there are some things we got two, so two may be significant here. Okay, the energy of two, the energy of, okay, relationship, a connection may be significant as well. What have you learned is what I'm getting. All right, we want to keep this in mind. What have you learned? How have you grown? What lessons are you ready to move on from? Okay, and what are you taking away with, from these lessons that you've been learning? Because this Devil energy is mastery of the physical. So any areas or aspects where you have been struggling with repetitive patterns, toxic cycles, toxic behaviors, being fixated or overly focused on the end result, but not necessarily taking the aligned actions. This is telling me that you've learned. Okay, that's why these energies here are presenting themselves. And so this is all about recognizing that you're not where you started. Okay, Nine of Pentacles. You've come a very long way. You've come very far in terms of your developments. People see you. You are admired. Your work ethic, okay, how you carry yourself matters, is what I'm hearing, and it counts. This is about independence, is what I'm getting as well. Asserting your independence and not being afraid to step out in that regard in terms of owning your independence. This doesn't mean that you need to like market yourself, plaster your face all over the place. Like you can, I mean, if that's what speaks to you, right? But that's not necessarily the case or what you're needing to do right now. Okay, you are at the center of it all here. Spirit is still communicating with you even as you focus on the mundane, on the practical. I feel like you are getting just even one step closer to attaining your goals. The Devil, I think I had mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention again. But if I haven't, here we go. Master of the physical, knows how to just approach a situation and get to work and make it happen. With Capricorn energy, I tease Capricorns often about having plans on plans on plans on plans and plans, and strategizing and strategizing and strategizing. There's something here about business and business ethic. Knight of Swords, again, like how I mentioned earlier, even with Justice, travel or movement may be significant for you, maybe coming up in the future. I feel like this deals with, in the coming months, perhaps. And this could be something that, the timing of it, just again, it's a timeless reading. So take, again, like there are things in this reading that I feel like I hope that it resonates. I hope all of it resonates. But if there are certain details we're like, I don't know. Okay. It may be something that's just going to come back around again in the future, at a future time. We've got this Two of Swords here. I'm getting to avoid certain arguments, certain details, or I'm getting personality clashes right now that are just, you can feel it inside of you, okay? I'm not trying to say to avoid everything and everyone. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's about acknowledging again, who are you now versus who you used to be. If you were like a very big giver and a people pleaser, let's just say, for example, this may be the time to just say, you know what, you don't need my help, you need to help yourself. Like, I don't know why, please forgive me, but that's just what's coming through. And that's where I feel like in these areas, justice especially, there are certain things that are going to be revealed. People that have mistreated you, or that have not held you in a respectful or similar regard as you have held them, for example, there's going to be a really swift turnaround. You might be receiving communications, you might be receiving messages, that sort of thing, not just from spirit or your intuition, but you might be hearing some feedback, whether it's directly from an individual or it's through the grapevine, is what I'm hearing. The grapes over here, grapevine, okay? I feel like you will be fine. I feel like you're going to be a bit removed from any external or negative chatter, but if you feel like you're getting in the thick of it, don't hesitate to speak your truth, all right? This is a time with the Knight of Swords to take an action, and in that case, remove the blindfold. You can hear what's going on, right? Somewhat. Those blindfolds technically are covering the ears. But you can also, I'm hearing spirit saying, sometimes it's about seeing what's there so that you can walk away with clarity. All right. There may be certain decisions where it may not be the time to make those decisions. It may be time for you to focus on other areas or aspects, okay? So just be aware of that. But I do feel that there are options coming through, messages coming through. Again, travel or some type of movement may be specific. It may be something that's on your mind that you're thinking about. If it's not more immediately, again, I'm hearing that this could be something that's within the coming months. I feel like karmic retribution is in order, is what I'm hearing. So you will be receiving rich rewards. You are going to be entering into a period where it's like focus on the good is what I'm getting, because there may be other things in your mind. Your mind might be sort of needing to be in a place of meditation. So this is where I feel like maybe if it's not external dialogue or distraction, because the external dialogue and distraction may have nothing to do with you. It could just be people around you, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, and you're just kind of having to put the blindfold on. You're kind of having to put the earplugs in and just kind of tune it out, is what I'm getting. Okay, if it's not something that you have direct control over, or if it's not something that deals directly with you, then spirit's saying feel free to walk away. Feel free to just kind of ignore it. You know what I mean? Ignore the external chatter. Don't allow for the external to create upheaval. Okay, that's where it's like, yes, when we see the Knight of Swords, it's like encouraging you to take the action, but toward what? Toward what's going to bring you peace. Okay, take the action that's going to help you to to create peace for you if things have been chaotic. Like with the devil, it's about identifying self-limiting habits, patterns, behaviors, toxic environments, toxic behaviors, addictive patterns and behaviors, okay? Cycles and patterns of just unfulfillment, or things that get you sucked into a lower vibration. We're wanting to be very strong and clear and disciplined about identifying it. And you see, I'm hearing like warding off, because this Knight is very much like, back off, you know what I mean? And so don't be afraid to defend yourself, to stand up for yourself in an aligned way, in the aligned way. Now, please be safe, and there's no need for violence, of course. But just keep that in mind, because justice is going to be working on your behalf. And this is all, again, in favor of really laying the groundwork for a stable future to come. Because again, we have these new beginnings here. We want to stay focused on being optimistic and on what's ahead, but we're only just at the beginning of it, potentially. Doesn't mean that we're at the beginning of everything, okay? But in terms of the new cycles that are opening up. And so again, to get through it, That's what how you might want to approach things. And just remember, okay, again, I don't know why, but I just have to say this: anyone who may have treated you wrong, done you harm, or that sort of thing, it's all going to come back around again. And where you have faltered, it's like, as long as you are intentionally working toward healing, holding that space and putting it out there, that's all you can. You just got to do your best to do your best in that sense. But don't get too hung up, and I'm going back to this devil energy, on self-limiting habits, patterns, or behaviors. Identify them so that you can move on from them. You can approach it head on so that you can reestablish a sense of peace, as I mentioned. Okay, so in part two, just as a mention, as a nod, before we get there. And by the way, again, there will be a part two. It's at kapualani.com/extensions. There's going to be a link to this in the comments below or the description box, either or. I'm going to make sure that it's there for you. But in the part two, we are going to be asking a yes no question to the angels. And I'm going to be having it a little bit loaded up, somewhat, not terribly so. But we're also going to be looking at the romance angels for those of you interested. And the romance angels, even though this is, romance, love, I also am just going to see what other messages come through, because this is also going to relate with whatever you're passionate about. If you're not interested in looking at relationship, that sort of thing, if you're like, no, I'm happy with where I am, like, with what's going on, I don't want to look into any of that. This will just be covering whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever gives you a sense of aliveness. All right. I may pull another oracle. We'll see what happens. But otherwise, I will be looking deeper into the animal spirit guides here. So we're going to shuffle for the animal spirit guides, get some insights here. And what's going to happen is I'm going to give my downloads here on the animal spirit, whatever one or ones come out. And then in the part two, we're going to be looking at the official animal spirit guidebook for that definition. Okay, so let's tune in here. Thank you, spirit. What do the animal spirit guides need for us to know? So we got two cards popping out. Ooh, all of these wobbles. Sorry about that, guys. So we got beaver, which we've seen before. I love beaver. And starfish. Okay, so beaver and starfish. Okay, so with the beaver energy, hard work pays off is what I'm getting. I feel like because I'm being shown like the beaver, how they create dams, longevity in the work and in what you're putting into yourself right now. So just keep, remember that whatever your goals are and your projection for the future, it all starts here and now. And even if you feel like you're a little bit delayed in life, you're not. Okay, you're not. This beaver energy, I'm thinking of the home, because that's, they're builders, right? So we're building something over time, because I'm thinking of the trees and how trees, the growth over time and that sort of thing. And it's about applying yourself to a project and just taking it step by step, day by day. Because sometimes with beavers, I don't know if I'd mentioned this the last time beaver came through, but they don't just chomp down a tree all at once. It's done over a period of time. Then they'll go back to it, and even as they're munching down on it, trying to chop the tree down, trying to fell the tree, I think I'd said that before, they pause and they just kind of listen to hear any movement to see if the tree's going to tip over or not, that kind of thing. So there's something here about also paying attention, with what it is, where you're planting your seeds and what it is that you're doing. Again, nurturing, growing, and developing things over time. With starfish, I don't know why, but I'm thinking about the sun and the sunshine. So maybe getting out, getting a little bit of sunlight if you've been cooped up. All right. And the other thing with starfish is it's about regeneration. Okay, because like when I believe that when one of these their rays, one of their legs, if something happens, it's damaged or when it starts to regrow it. So there's growth, there's regrowth, there's renewal that's coming through and that's underway. You're going to be securing some contracts, some deals. Okay, I feel like you may be very close to success in some way, and I feel like there may even be potentially contending contracts, opportunities or options coming your way. So just be prepared for that. But again, again, I'm hearing Spirit saying to take your time and not feel rushed about having to make something happen right here, right now. There may be an opportunity that is not meant to just, woohoo, it's happening right here, right now, but it's something that's going to be more of a long term investment and something that will pay off over a period of time. Okay. So, thank you so much for being here. Please do consider subscribing if you have not already subscribed. When you subscribe, when you like, when you comment and interact, it only helps me to get a better feel for your energy, connecting to you more specifically in whatever it is that you're focusing on. Okay, so just something to think about. But thank you to those who have subscribed as it is, who've been watching and continuing to watch, supporting myself here, and the messages. I deeply appreciate you, and I wish you a very bright, beautiful, and blessed 2025 New Year. And so again, I will see you in part 2 for those interested. Take good care.